What's good, guys? With the highly anticipated CARTETHYIA right around the corner, it's time we break down everything you need to know regarding this character so you're ready to build her the moment she drops. We're going to talk about her echoes, echo stats, materials, team members, weapons, and so much more. So let's hop right onto the video. Kicking things off with the materials. Like always, we're going to need the same amount of some of these materials, like the tidal residue and the metallic drip. We're going to need 2.2 million shell credits. We're going to need a Rice's Bloom. And the last two materials are coming with the 2.4 area, so do be sure to get to farming them as soon as you can. We have the Unfading Glory and we have the Bamboo Iris. Do be sure to get these. These are going to be very important. So day one, that 2.4 drops, you want to make sure you go ahead and farm that boss and get those Bamboo Irises. Moving on over to the weapons, like always, her best in slot weapon is going to be her signature weapon, as it is very specific to her kit. Matter of fact, I'd say that this is the most specific weapon that we've gotten so far. So let's talk about it. First off, it heavily focuses around increasing her max HP. It gives you 72.2% HP as a main stat, and when it comes to the ability, a free Knight's Tarantella, max HP is increased by 12% for 15 seconds after casting intro skill or basic attacks, ignores 8% of the target's defense when dealing damage. If the target has more than one stack of arrow erosion, the target's damage taken is amplified by 20%. So as you can see, it really revolves around CARTETHYIA's entire kit, and there's no other character that can really take advantage of this weapon. So if you want to have the best possible CARTETHYIA, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, you want to make sure you get her weapon. Now there are other options you can use, and while they are going to, still help her out, they're nowhere near as close and functional as her signature weapon is going to be. For her second options, you can use the Blazing Brilliance and the Red Spring, and for the budget option, the old reliable Emerald of Genesis. But once again, guys, these other options are going to be good, and I'm sure in damage calculations, maybe they'll be kind of close together, but in all reality, it's more than just the damage. The entire functionality of the character, the insane HP increase is all part of CARTETHYIA's kit, so you want to make sure you get her signature weapon. Now let's talk about the team compositions, and I'm going to talk about the main teams you're going to be running with your CARTETHYIA. Now, after a lot of testing, after seeing a lot of gameplay and seeing a lot of things that she can do with multiple other characters, I gotta be honest, right off the bat, Siakona, obviously, as we all knew, is going to be her best in slot partner. She just amplifies her damage, makes arrow stacks easier to apply as she does apply them herself, and overall works very well with CARTETHYIA. But there are other characters that are going to work very well. Matter of fact, Arrow Rover is also a character that works very good with CARTETHYIA. A lot of people might think, oh, it's just going to be a crappy option to put on there because he himself doesn't apply arrow stacks. But I gotta be honest, he works very well with CARTETHYIA. Matter of fact, I think he works better with CARTETHYIA than Spectral Rover works with Zani, and that's saying quite a lot because Spectral Rover does apply Spectral Frazzle stack, so keep that in mind. But Arrow Rover is a very solid option when it comes to your team composition in the CARTETHYIA team. Now, not saying he replaces Siakona by any reason, that's why he is on the second picks, but he's still a very solid option. Now, moving on over to pretty much the most broken character in the game, Shorekeeper. No need to say much about this character. She's just that freaking good. She's very good with CARTETHYIA. She helps her deal a lot more damage. She's a lot more consistent. So yeah, Shorekeeper, like always, on every single team ever. Best in slot, pretty much. Now, for your third picks, these are characters that are still going to work, but if you don't have some of the other characters, these are your options. Now, Verena, like always, if you don't have Storekeeper, if you don't have Shoekeeper, Verena is going to be the character you're going to slot in there. She's still going to give you a little bit of buffs, I guess a little bit of healing, so why not? And for Sanhua, she does have that little basic attack buffing that she does, attack buffing, not too bad, not too shabby. She can be fit in there in case you don't have your, I don't know, Arrow Rover built just yet. You're on a tight budget, but you happen to have a Sanhua build, or if you don't have some of the other options, you can go ahead and rock that. But this is the order of characters that I personally think fit CARTETHYIA's team the best. Up next, we have the Echoes, and not much has changed regarding the Echoes. You can go ahead and run the Gust of Welkin set, which we currently have in the game if you happen to already have a build set. For those that don't know, the 2-piece gives you arrow damage plus 10%, and the 5-piece inflicting arrow erosion upon enemies increases arrow damage for all resonators in the team by 15%, and the resonators triggering this effect by an additional 15%, lasting for 20 seconds. But the upcoming arrow set is also going to be very good, if not her best in slot set. It's called the Windward Pilgrimage. 2-piece gives arrow damage plus 10%, very much like the Gust of Welkin, but the 5-piece hitting a target with arrow erosion increases crit rate by 10% and grants 30% arrow damage bonus lasting 10 seconds. So, once again, overall, they're very similar. They're going to be doing relatively very similar things for your CARTETHYIA, but at the end of the day, it really revolves around how much materials you have laying around. If you've already built a Gust of Welkin set, I'm not going to be here telling you, hey, no, that sucks, you can't rock it. By all means, go ahead and rock it. It's still going to give you very solid damage. But if you want to mid-max, Windward Pilgrimage seems to be the best. There's still more testing to be done. That's why I'm telling you guys right now, both sets are still going to be very effective for your CARTETHYIA. It's more so about if you're ready to build a new set, or if you already have a Gust of Welkin built. Overall, the damage won't be that big of a difference. Me personally, I'm going to build a Windward Pilgrimage set, and if it just so happens that Gust of Welkin is better by some reasons, which I highly doubt, I'll build that as well. Once again, don't feel too stressed or too pressured to build one particular set if you already have another one built. Both will work perfectly. Moving on over to the Echo stats, there's a lot to talk about, and this is something very important. If you guys aren't going for any dupes whatsoever, you might want to consider running a 4-4-1-1 build. This is going to make it easier for y'all to reach those crit rate and crit damage thresholds. Now, if you are going to get dupes on her, the usual 4-3-3-1-1 is going to be better. Now, let's talk about the actual stats. For your 4 cost, you want crit rate or crit damage, once again, depending on your build. For your 3 cost, you want arrow damage or HP percentage. You can go 1-1, or you can go ahead and double down and get double arrow damage or double HP. Personally, I want 1 arrow damage and 1 HP. For your 1 cost, you do want HP percentage. And for your substats, you're going to want HP percentage, crit rate, crit damage, basic attack, and you can always throw a little bit of energy regen in there. Attack percentage is always good. So those are pretty much the things I highly advise, pretty much in that order. Alright, that pretty much wraps up the video, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, do be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and I just want to let y'all know, I know we've all been hyped for CARTETHYIA. We're waiting to summon her and test her out, so I will be summoning her here on the channel. We will be going for S6 R5, and I will be testing her out in every way possible. We're going to test her out at S0 R1 and all the way to S6 R5. We will be testing her with her best in slot teams, as well as other options, to see how she overall performs with a lot of these characters, and we will be doing a giveaway for 2.4. We will be giving out 2 battle passes and 5 Lunite subscriptions, so do be sure to tune on here on YouTube or Twitch. For now, I'll see you guys on the next one, and don't forget to join our Discord, one of the most laid back and chilled Wuwa communities. For now, peace.